Morning, evening, or afternoon. I'm your host, Knight, and welcome back. We had a delay yet again, but this time, it's us making a song for the radio because of copyright issues. And after broadcast 4, we developed a new song that you are hearing right now. So, without further ado, and by the way, we had some other issues. So, without further ado, let us get into it. First is Poland. The Second Polish Republic has announced it will send supplies and goods to the Austro-Hungarian Empire. In response to the recent declarations of war, Austria-Hungary, by the South of Russia, Roma, and Verona. Head of State William Pagnater emphasized that this is an act of solidarity and support, not an act of war. As Austro-Hungary, as a member of the European Triumvirate, my sincere apologies, that's messed that up, of which Poland is also a part. The Polish armed forces will remain prepared for potential future military operations in Austro-Hungary. Then the list of declarations of war. We all know about that. South Russia, Roma, and Maronia. Did I pronounce that right? Then Britain, declaring war on Austro-Hungary to support their ally and because they were requested to. Next, we have France. The House of Guerra has declared war on the United States of America, citing regime change as the cause. Captain Saline and Lex announced that the French Navy is positioned off the coast of Maine and prepared to bombard Boston, New York, Pennsylvania, Texas, Washington D.C., Hawaii, Formosa, and Oregon. While open to diplomatic talks to prevent war, Lex stated that failure to agree to terms will result in destruction of cities, and with the caveat that civilians will not be targeted unless they pose a threat. Saline invoked divine intervention for the protection of soldiers and civilians, in which the United States responded. In response to the French declaration of war, the United States Navy has been deployed to defend against the imminent French attack on key cities. President Lord Redison has been evacuated to a secure location, and state militias and naval personnel in threatened areas are preparing defenses and readying cannons. The US is requesting imminent assistance from Great Britain and Mexico, specifically seeking support from the Royal Navy and Mexican Navy. And the request is based on the Royal Navy's superior naval power and the previous US assistance in defending the British Isles. And after that, French forces have commenced bombardment on US targets. At 0400 hours, 4 French ships, FS Bern, Liguire, Charles Mantle, and Berners arrived north of Bermuda. At 0320 hours, battleships in Boston and the White House in Washington D.C. were targeted. Then at 0400 hours, a military base in Dallas and an airfield were bombed. And after that, the House of Liguire raised a Laguerre Did I pronounce that right? At 0500 hours, followed by a national anthem and a military parade. In Toulon, a French battalion shot down 2 unidentified scout planes near a naval base, suspected to be Americans. And after that, yet again, at 0600 hours, French time, US ships stationed in Plymouth, Britain, bombarded Roscoff in retaliation for the French bombardment of Boston. French artillery in Roscoff were damaged, and the remaining garrison was forced to retreat. The US Navy ensured no civilians were harmed, calling for their evacuation to US ships for safety. When that thing was announced, 300 French citizens cooperated and were protected from the bombardment. And before we continue our broadcast, the Yakanadindar Institute of Knowledge, Technology and Science announces a breakthrough in radio and aeronautical technology. The findings will be revealed on New Year's Day in 2026 of the era. This is of the era of 1900 to 1920s, I think. And the air travel will create new civilian and military opportunities. Logistical challenges will be reduced with infantry and supply transport times potentially decreasing from 5 hours to 3 hours in cargo transport times between countries, decreasing from 4 days to approximately 3.25 to 3.5 days. Most likely just like half. And yeah. And after that nice notice, thank you, Dayakan Tiradar Institute, we have the Philippine Republic. Due to numerous war declarations made yesterday, Gianni Sermentino, Commandant of the Army of the Philippine Republic, declares neutrality for the Philippines. The nation will not engage with the newly formed federation due to confusion regarding the involved parties and their enemies, particularly Riono Imperial di Marona declaration of war on South Russia, which is unclear to Philippine Army Federation. The Philippines will only provide arms and supplies to any nation, maintaining a neutral stance for the time being. And next we have Japan. The Empire of Japan, by imperial decree, declares provisional sovereignty over unclaimed Chinese territories adjacent to its operations. This action aims to restore order, protect civilians and commerce, and secure ports and communication until a lasting diplomatic settlement is achieved. A provisional civil administration will be established to maintain public order and facilitate relief. Foreign nationals and neutral trade will be protected. Formal details regarding boundaries and governance will be communicated to interested governments through diplomatic channels, and this telegram was signed by His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor. Then lastly, still Japan, by imperial order at 0300 hours, imperial squadrons will commence a controlled precision-focused bombardment of identified militia supply depots and staging areas to expedite stabilization and prevent further bloodshed. A simultaneous feint, what do you call this, will be launched on the northern promontory, while landing forces will assault the lightly defended southern cove at first light to secure a beachhead and vital infrastructure. Civilians will not be spared. I meant civilians are spared, and provisional administration will follow, signed by Grand Admiral of the Navy. I meant civilians will be spared, not spared. Let's just put it out there, I'm not looking for bloodshed also. I just misread it. And lastly, that would mark the end of this telegrams. And just to let you know, that last telegram that you heard was actually from last night. That's the only thing that was actually very, very intact of all voiceovers. Though that one was the only one that, got saved from last night. The other ones, I sounded like drunk. I'm not even Irish. I sounded drunk. From Britain to Japan. And we had to redo it again and again because of me sounding like a drunk person. Which I am not, I don't drink. Just too tired, I think. I don't drink. I'm just putting it out there, I don't drink. So yeah. Oh, yes, I forgot about that one. From last broadcast number 5, Turkey Island, some thighs being somewhat sent to someone. It was sent to me. Then deleted. So, yeah, I'm not gonna remember that. And a bunch of things, which, as of now, I forgot. So yeah, without further ado, I wish you a splendid evening, morning, or afternoon. The dogs are outside.